Are you frustrated, worried, or burned out by how disengaged your students have become? Good, because it's probably your fault. And until you're willing to do something differently, you're going to keep suffering. But if you're tired of seeing the heads down and the phones out, then stick around to the end because you're going to learn 10 teacher habits that are quietly destroying the classroom culture and how to fix them for good. Plus, a free step-by-step checklist that you can download at the end to help you handle disengagement the right way every time. Habit 10, ignoring disengagement completely. This is the most common one. You see a student with their head down and you think, well, at least he's not disrupting. I was talking with a lady the other day. She's like, listen, I don't care what they're doing as long as they're not bothering everybody else. Wrong. Ignoring it is like leaving a crack in a dam because it's not a big deal. That crack will only widen and flood your entire classroom. Instead, you need to patch that crack on the inside and out. Inspect it. Find out how deep does it go. You might just save the student from disaster as well as your classroom. Habit 9, choosing speed over learning. When you're in a hurry, it's tempting to just keep the lesson moving. Just keep it moving. That's like turning up the heat and serving bread before it's fully cooked. Sure, the outside looks great, but if you bite into it and the inside is still doughy and gooey, it doesn't matter how good it looks on the outside. If you rush through your lessons and ignore the half of your class that isn't learning, you don't get points just for finishing what's on your lesson plan. It's better to cook less food and make sure everyone can actually eat it than to throw away a big meal that no one can enjoy. You need to slow down, check for understanding, make sure the inside is getting cooked. If you're teaching these kids these lessons, you need to make sure they're actually learning because learning is the goal, not just teaching. Habit number 8, believing these are just who these kids are. If you see a disengaged student and think to yourself, well, that's just how they are. They don't care. But that's like giving up on a good seed just because you don't see it sprouting yet. You stop watering it. You stop pulling the weeds. You quit doing the things that need to be done, even though the roots are growing underneath the ground. So what do you do instead? Keep tending. Keep showing up for them. Growth takes time, even when you can't see it yet. Habit 7, avoiding discipline just to be the cool teacher. This is a big one. You don't want to upset the kids or their parents, so you let it slide. But that's like being afraid to add heat to a pan because you don't want to burn the food. Nothing gets cooked. Everything stays raw. You keep trying to convince yourself that undercooked meat is just fine. You keep telling yourself this is the best it can be. But the truth is, if you keep cooking on the lowest possible setting because you're afraid to get burned, you're never going to bring the best out of what's in front of you. Instead, those students need to be corrected and they need you to do it. No one else is coming along to help encourage them and push them. Because if those kids are already checking out for you, then they're the ones who have no one else checking in on them. Wow, that's awesome. Dude, you hear that? That was awesome. Okay, let's keep going. Habit 6, you just want quiet, so you ignore the side comments or disrespect. That's like painting over cracks in the wall just to make it look nice, while the foundation begins to crumble underneath. Instead, strengthen your classroom by addressing the disengagement early. Real peace comes from initiating solutions, not from ignoring problems. Go over there, talk to them, find out what's going on with a genuine heart. Don't just be like, hey, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you listening? What's your problem? No. You can say the same words, but with a genuine heart. Hey, buddy, what's wrong with you? What's going on? And you wait for an answer. A lot of times these kids are asked questions and nobody listens for the answer. They'll just sit there quietly because they don't think you care enough to listen. Genuinely ask them and wait for an answer. Habit 5, setting weak boundaries to move on quickly. When you think, let's just skip over a morning meeting and keep going, and you let things slide, that's like tying a loose knot just to save time. When weight's applied later, everything begins to fall apart. What should you do? Set clear, firm boundaries so that they hold under pressure later. Stop letting one kid get away with something you don't allow another. Stop letting your procedures and routines change day to day just because one day you're in a bad mood and the next you're feeling great. Your emotions should not dictate the flow of your classroom. Your integrity should. If you say you're going to do something, you follow through. Your words have to carry weight in the ears of those students. That's how you train them to listen to you because every time you speak, you follow through and they see it. Habit 4, blaming the environment without taking action. It's easy to say, well, this room is distracting. Look at that window right there. The kids keep staring out of it. This material just doesn't work. What's the problem? But that's like blaming a cluttered kitchen for bad dishes, instead of cleaning and arranging your tools better. Instead, reset the space and the materials. Even a small adjustment can bring students back into focus. Habit 3, thinking students don't care about their work. I see this all the time. You assume they just don't care, and all they care about are their friends. That's like a musician playing only for the audience's cheers. Yeah, it's part of it, but you know what? They love the song. Some of the best songwriters love songs and want to share them with the world. Start to see your students as master creators. They are made in God's image and ready to create something amazing and fantastic for themselves as well as the world. Habit 2, believing anger equals authority. You can feel yourself angry, thinking you're going to make them take you seriously. But that's like chopping with a dull axe or trying to cut with a dull knife. It just damages the cut. It just wears you out. Instead, stay sharp, be calm. Take time to sharpen the blade by attending professional development. I know, I used to hate it too, but then I started taking professional development that I actually needed. Things that were wrong in my classroom have answers. That's why I started going to PD, reading books, watching videos, attending workshops and training seminars that affect me and help me to change things for the good for my students. And then habit 1 is to get mad at the kids because they should know better. You think, I already taught this, they ought to know how to do it. Well, yeah, that's like being told the speed limit and then everyone expects you to drive 55 miles an hour forever. People need reminders. Students need reminders. You need reminders. I'm sure you drove here today following the speed limit absolutely perfectly, right? Because you're supposed to, and you know better. Of course not. Sometimes we have to be reminded with lights, with tickets, with money. It hurts us. Those are some consequences that come about to help remind us, hey, we ought to follow the procedures laid out by our authority. You are the authority. Your students need you to help hold them to higher standards. That's why I'm going to give you a bonus checklist, the right way to respond when you see disengagement. Click in the description right now. It'll walk you through the steps. Number 1, you're going to want to approach calmly. Walk over quietly, get to their level, say their name, and be like, hey, Andrew, are you okay? Then pause and listen. Show concern, not annoyance. You're diagnosing what's really going on. Step 2 is to root out the cause. Are they just tired? Do they not understand? Do they think the work's meaningless? Whatever it is, you're going to have to give them some specific answers based on those 3 things. It's normally just those 3 things as to why they're disengaged. So if you know those 3 things, then you can serve a dish that helps fulfill what they're missing. And then step 3, if needed, you can reset their foundation. You can gently move them to a new spot. You can say something like, hey, buddy, you're not in trouble. You just need a better place to work so that you can do your best. Once you're finished, you can go back. So keep in mind, every step here helps to restore them to the work. We're not trying to punish them. We're not trying to pull them away from the work. We're trying to get them focused back on it. So if you want to keep pretending it's this kid's fault or maybe their parents, feel free. But if you're ready to actually fix it for good, here's the next step. In my Order Over Chaos Masterclass, I show principals and teachers how to master all 12 foundations and structural elements that keep classrooms running smoothly. It's a scalable, fundable solution that you can implement across your district or school or classroom. Visit Classroom Flow or click the link in the description. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a comment because stronger classrooms don't happen by accident, they're built.